Ready. Okay, guys. So I'm gonna be talking with Connor today. You mind giving a quick introduction?
Hello, I'm Connor. I've just started eBay drop shipping. I'm very new to it. I'm learning every day, and I'm just getting some advice from Sammy.
Good. So brother, before we begin, like, just give your background. Yeah, you said you did Shopify for a bit, yeah?
Yeah, so maybe 4 years ago, um, I did some drop shipping on Shopify through AliExpress and Facebook advertising as well.
Okay, and how did that work out? Yeah.
To be- well, I did 4 stores, and 3 of them failed miserably, and the fourth one kind of I had a bit of hope, but I messed up with the advertising, and I didn't really plan it properly, and I ended up paying a lot in postage and
Well,
stuff
what do you
like that.
mean you failed though? So tell like, is it just because
So
of bad creative or like your ad spend was too
I
much?
tell you what, the ads were fine, and the campaign itself was fine, but I set the location wrong.
Mm.
So I sourced through AliExpress at the time, and I think it was Egypt. If they shipped to Egypt, it was like £100 packaging, and I got an influx of orders from Egypt, and it
Gotcha.
just killed me. Yeah,
Gotcha.
killed me.
So, but your creative was good. Your price was marked up properly. It was just the shipping that killed you, yeah?
Yeah, yeah.
Gotcha. Gotcha. And what about and the other three stores? What ended up happening to those ones, yeah?
I think those. I think I just didn't really design the website very well. Yeah,
You're
just the design of it.
but how do you know? Like is it because you sent a whole bunch of traffic and it didn't convert?
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
I tried all sorts of different ad creatives, and the CTR and the ad creatives were quite good, to be honest. The ads were performing well for clicks, but once on the conversion rate on the website was abysmal. It was awful.
what was it?
So,
Like
I think it was like 0.2%. For Shopify, that was pretty crap. I
yeah.
think if for Shopify, it's like 3%, 4% is quite good.
I see a lot of
But
guys they do at 1% and then they're happy with that.
well, yeah, I mean, if you've got 1% and it's loads of traffic,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, you're
True,
laughing.
true. And your main source of traffic was from Facebook ads, yeah?
Correct, yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
very expensive.
Yeah.
Can
So
be very expensive.
what did you do to solve that problem though? What did you do after?
Well, this is why I'm not really doing it anymore. I just kind of gave up, to be honest. And I wish I didn't, because I was progressing
Yeah,
my skill set in dropshipping, and that
yeah,
maybe because of work as well at the time, it was quite busy, and
yeah.
just
Gotcha.
the mindset wasn't right.
Yeah, yeah, no,
Yeah,
100%. Because whatever you said is the start of the story for everybody who makes it. You know what I mean?
exactly. Yeah,
Everybody who made it said the same story. Yeah, you just have
yeah,
got the beginning down.
yeah.
It's the
That's
end
it.
of the
Yeah,
beginning for you at least.
yeah,
So
yeah.
some of the possible things that you could have done to go ahead and solve the problem if you were I don't know if it was money the issue at the time.
Yeah, maybe there was probably a bit of money. I did spend quite a lot, and
Like,
I
did you
lost a
run
lot
out
of
of
money.
money to keep testing?
Yeah, in a way, yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
yeah. So some of the ways that people figured out was they started using organic traffic to test their products.
yeah,
You know what I
yeah. And I think I did this before the days of TikTok.
mean?
So I
How?
mean, TikTok's really good for organic traffic.
Yes. But what did you use to get organic traffic though?
I didn't really use anything to get organic, to be honest. I just used Facebook ads.
Yeah, true. True. Another
Yeah,
way is Pinterest. Pinterest, the big one. I just recently,
yeah, Pinterest. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, huge stores are just made from just literally posting a whole bunch of crap on Pinterest, and then from there they get organic traffic coming in. And if it's converting, then you just throw some ads into it and then see if you can target the same audience, and then you're already done your testing, yeah?
yeah.
So what made you shift to eBay then? Because you already have the Shopify background. Is it because of you got jaded or something?
Um, no, I think I must have watched a video or something. I thought, you know what? I think I'd in between the Shopify and eBay, there must have been like 2 years. And I
Yeah,
thought, you know what? I, I did enjoy parts of it, and I thought I'll give it another go.
true. So,
And I did. So this was the first time I've done eBay. I tried eBay dropshipping before this, and I think that was maybe 4 years ago. And that that went better than the Shopify did.
mm,
But I think I was using at the time it was Gelato or something.
yeah, yeah.
Gelato, yeah,
How many years ago was this?
must 4 years maybe
4 years.
three, 3 or
Gotcha.
4 years.
And
Yeah.
what was your experience with that? Yeah.
Uh, so the way they kind of said to do it, I think was wrong. Um, you can buy ASINs from them, and I bulk bought, just uploaded too many at like once, and then I got loads of orders, but a lot of the ASINs were out of stock. They were just really crap, and
But if they were in stock, would you have been profitable?
yeah,
Oh,
yeah, and I well,
that's not
I
a
would have
bad trade.
been yeah, I would have been a bit profitable, but I didn't set um the profit margins to 100% or 50%. I think it must have been about 20 to 30, which is not enough to
Mm,
deal with returns and stuff like that. Like you've said, you set yours to 100%. Is that
100%,
right?
yeah, 100%, yeah.
Yeah. Um, and that can kind of make up for any returns or anything like that, any other issues you deal with.
Gotcha. So you actually haven't tried high margin on eBay yet, yeah?
Not yet. No. Currently, I've got it set to 50%. So
Gotcha.
maybe I could do bring it on.
Gotcha. So
Yeah.
so let me tell you like let me know what are your goals here? What are you trying to are you trying to make like a side income, passive income? Are you trying to pay off your car? Are you trying to be filthy rich? Like, what is it?
Well, everyone's trying to be filthy rich,
Not
aren't they?
everybody, man. I talked to a lot of
Well, they say they are, but they're not doing anything about it.
well, a lot of people
Obviously,
they don't even think about it because it's above. They don't believe in it.
yeah, you've got to believe it, haven't you? You know, you've got to manifest it,
More
let it
like
happen.
more like they haven't seen it either from like their own personal experiences. Like I have a friend, like I speak to a lot of people, right? There was a guy, I have a friend that I meet in person. We went to the batting cages recently, and
Hmm.
he made 2 million on Shopify last year in profit.
Really? Yeah, it
Right?
happens, doesn't it?
When you see it, it becomes real. You know, a lot of
Yeah,
people just the scope hasn't opened up because they are so used to like you're working a 9 to 5, right? You're doing
yeah,
this, that every single day. No one is there to kind of like show you there's another reality out there. And it's
yeah,
and it's not that in my opinion, it's not that far-fetched, right? There's logical systems to accomplish them. It's just about the execution. So what are your
mm.
goals, yeah?
So I do obviously want to become financially free. That'd be nice.
Mhm.
Um, and
So
I
how
am going
much
to
is that?
try. For
Is
me
it-
to be financially free, I would say I'd be 100K a year. That'd be financially free.
This is a wrong mentality with with business, in my opinion. It's too unstable to kind of hedge wanting to
No,
make
okay, yeah. So not as a wage, but to I'd say to even get enough to buy some money making
properly.
assets like property.
What's
I
the
do have
bare
a
minimum you need to buy your
uh,
property and do what you have to, yeah?
well in the UK we have mortgages and I think it's 10% of the house. So, but I would like to maybe purchase a property fully, and that would be around 200K.
Oh,
For,
that's not bad, man. That's not bad.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not bad at all. And then if you rented that out, how much would you get from that?
If you did a bit of renovation, made it look nice, I think you could probably get. 800, 900 pound a month if it was a house,
Yo,
not a
that
flat
that's
or anything.
that's great, man. Because that 900
Yeah,
can get you a long way. You
adds up.
know what I mean? You
And you're
can
not
start
losing
anything
money,
after
you're
that.
gaining.
Yeah, yeah.
Not, yeah, you've got a money making asset that's bringing its own value up over time, and you've got people paying you for it. So
Dude, 200K is very achievable. It's not even like
yeah,
a dream or something like that. It's like just it's not like we're talking about. Usually I was thinking like you're gonna say 1 million, 2 million, or 10
yeah,
million or something, which is doable. Like, but it's like the scale of work
it's a
required
journey, isn't it?
is
Yeah,
another one. So
yeah,
200K I think is very doable, right? So
yeah.
definitely on eBay, 200K you can do it. Like even with eBay UK, what have you. So let me go ahead and get to the main topic, and it's gonna be the approach required to go ahead and be successful on eBay dropshipping today. So
Hmm.
the reason I asked you for your background, and it's good that you said Shopify, is because
Hmm.
then I know exactly how to go ahead and tell you the information that you need. So somebody else may be watching, they're probably not gonna get the full gist of it, right? So when you're listing an item on Shopify, what determines your success is A/B testing, right?
Hmm.
But to test requires money. So the advantage that you have on eBay is every single time that you list an item, right? You get traffic, you get impressions, right? And every time you get impressions, it is a chance to sell your item, and a chance to sell it, right, goes ahead and you're going to be able to be profitable from that, yeah? So
Yeah,
essentially what eBay, the way you're supposed to look at it is, okay, I have 1,500 items this month, right? You get a feature store, you get to list 1,500 items, right? You have 1,500 opportunities to A/B test like titles that convert, right? Pictures that convert and prices that convert. Do you get what I
yeah,
mean? So these are the three
yeah.
things. The most important thing, in my opinion, is the product. So not even the pictures, but the product. The pictures are important, but you don't have too much leverage over that because you are using like maybe your supplier's pictures or something, right? So the product is the most important, and the second thing is your title, right?
Yeah,
The title is so let's talk about the product first, right? So
yeah,
let's say you get an item that is like high converting, maybe like you're selling like an iPhone, right?
yeah,
The product it's very high converting, but if you don't get views to the impressions on the product, right? If you list an iPhone and you call it a fridge, no matter how good the
yeah.
product is, it's not gonna sell, right?
Ah,
So the challenge becomes at that point is how do I convert, like how do I get traffic to my high converting item? And then the
mhm.
opposite is true as well. You can get a whole bunch of traffic, but if it's a product that does not convert, then that traffic is mindlessly going into nothing. Do you get what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah.
those are the two things that you have to start with. So the easier thing to the easier it's easy to get traffic because it just depends on the title. So the first approach that you have to do is you need to sit down and think about what products would sell on eBay. So Zik Analytics is good in one sense because it does tell you what items are selling.
Mm.
However, the problem with Zik Analytics is the items that you're gonna be shown over there are pretty much very saturated, first of all, and they're already and you know what the definition of saturation means?
Yeah, uh, just too much competition in a way for
No.
that one. No,
That
overly
that is one
used.
you can get it. That's one of the interpretations you can kind of derive from saturation.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
what saturation actually means is for a given product, right? There is a clear market demand for a given price. That
Okay,
is the technical definition of saturation. So saturation
right.
is not a bad thing at all. If you know the clear market demand at this price, how do you be successful? I'm asking you this time.
Sorry, say that again.
Yeah, so if you know that an item has a clear market demand at a given price, right, and you want to sell that item, how would you be successful in a saturated market?
Just stand out,
Yeah, yeah,
maybe. Yeah.
yeah. No, it's one
Stand
answer.
out.
It's one answer.
Yeah.
Like, try to think about it. Like, let's say I'm selling an iPhone, right, for 100
Yeah.
bucks, right? If and
Okay.
like, let's say we both sourced the item for like 50 bucks each.
Yeah.
What would you do to take my sales?
You could either, well, I mean, you could sell for a lower price.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's it. That's the
Yeah.
answer. That's how you make that's if you can source at a cheaper price in a saturated market, you win the game. Do you get what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
saturated does not mean it's a bad thing. Saturated for the right, like it's just a different approach. It's about
Hmm.
sourcing instead of like being more creative. So I don't like to go ahead and compete in saturated markets, right? In saturated items. The reason why is because like we're drop shipping. So it's difficult
Yeah.
to get the lowest price.
Yeah.
So that's the reason why I don't like. But someone who's like maybe wholesaling it, or maybe he's looking at the item and saying that, oh, this sold 1,000 times at 10 bucks. Let me buy from China for $2 a piece, and let me get ten
Yeah. It's
thousand.
not an issue, is it, in that
Not an issue at
situation?
that point. Exactly. So it's just a different, but because we're drop shipping, our approach should be a bit like we shouldn't go for saturated items because we'll never be the most price competitive. Maybe one day you'll buy it in wholesale, but at this time that's not the approach. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means that you'd have to find an item that is selling, right? That is not like a specific item, right?
Yeah.
Because specific items can be saturated, right? And saturated means has a clear market demand for a clear market price. So
Yeah.
the right approach would be, maybe you hop on trends, right?
Yeah.
Trends, they don't have a specific price.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I had a look. I had a look on. Is it Therapy?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. I've
Ter-
had a look through there and gone through the categories and stuff like that, see if I could find anything. But I used Zik Analytics to source the product,
Yeah,
which
yeah. No, I hear it. Therapeutic is definitely a good idea, but therapeutic, in my opinion, is more for again saturated markets, right?
yeah,
It is like the wrong approach when you're drop shipping and you're looking to get high margins because therapy gives you a lot of data, but it's giving you data on because
things are being used.
exactly. Like
Yeah.
most of the sellers on eBay, what was eBay made for? It was made to go ahead and help like local small businesses like list their items on eBay and have it sold. So somebody doesn't know what the price of an item is, so they go on Therapy to find that price and lower cut it. But that does
Right.
not work in our model because we're not going to be able to source it for cheaper. So
No.
that means that the first problem that you have to solve is what items, right, can I list on eBay that I can set whatever price I want, right? So the answer is simple, right? That shirt that you're wearing right now, how much do you think it is?
Um,
I mean, you probably know the price. You probably bought it yourself, yeah?
yeah, yeah, like £20,
20
30
pounds,
pounds.
right? But if you asked 100 people what the price of that shirt is, you're gonna get different answers across the board.
Yeah,
And
you'll have
that
an
is
average, but there'll be some.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Like let's say, for example, like if we're talking about TVs or something, everybody knows the price of that, right? They're
Hmm.
like you see like maybe 299 or something. Like, but if we're talking about if you had like some curtains behind, like, do you have any curtains in your room?
Yep.
How much do you think the price of that is?
I'm not too sure, to be
If
honest.
someone told you 100 bucks, would you believe them?
Um, I mean, I could see it could
Yeah,
be a possibility. Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah.
right? So now it's about increasing the perceived value of an item that
Yeah.
doesn't have an intrinsic worth, right? Intrinsic worth is, for example, if I sold you like a dollar, like you say a quid, right? Is that what you guys say? Yeah, quid.
Yeah. Quid.
Quid, yeah. So if like that coin, the quid, if I said, yo, I'll sell you this for 10 bucks, would you
Yeah.
take the deal?
No.
What if I told you this was worth 10 bucks? You'll probably be like, this guy's crazy. Let me talk to somebody. Let me not waste my time anymore, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm telling you. So it's that quid has an intrinsic value of $1. It's not gonna be above it, it's not gonna be below it. Everybody knows the price. But when there's
Hmm.
an item like a curtain, a chair, a wooden, something more stylish in design or whatever, things that don't have an intrinsic value, that is where the opportunity for us lies. It's
Yeah.
now that curtain is as worth as much as you're willing to pay for it, right? If
Mm.
now let's say we're trying to sell that curtain, right? Let's say we want to sell it for 500 bucks. How will you go ahead and sell it for 500 bucks? Maybe maybe something you can say would be um like let's say you go to a bunch of Moroccans and say, "Hey, this is made in Morocco." Or maybe
Yeah.
people who
Or
have
silk or something. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly something
Yeah.
like you attach words to the item that is going to increase the perceived value of it. So all of a sudden now that is not just a curtain anymore, it's a handmade curtain, right? Handmade
Mm.
things are worth a lot more. So now the
Yeah.
price is justified. Do you get what I mean? So
Yes. Yeah.
you must create titles that justify the price. So that is the first thing that you have to do. So now that we talked about like how to go ahead the mindset that you need for a product, right? To go ahead and sell it for a high margin, 100% markup. It depends on if it has an intrinsic value or not. If it does,
Mhm.
you're not gonna sell it for over 100. If you do, you're lucky, and you can maybe the guy's gonna send you a message a couple days later asking for a return. Like
Yeah.
probably found it cheaper or something, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but if it's like something that doesn't have an intrinsic, then you can get away with it. So
Okay.
what you have to do is you need to take you have to take that curtain, you have to look at it and see where's the value of it. Right? So one thing that I used to do back in the day would be I would look at the material of the curtain, right? And then I would go on like research papers or something and then see, okay, this is what does this material do? Like, what's the benefit of this material? Maybe this material like cleans the air around you. So maybe it's like
Mm.
air purifying curtains. All of a
Yeah.
sudden, it's like, but really, it's still like silk, right?
Mm.
But it's now we're just showcase instead of talking about the feature, we bring out the benefit and we call it air purifying because we're looking at the hidden benefit of the item that nobody knows, and that is exactly what all of these supplement companies do, right? It's
Yeah.
just green tea extract, but somehow they talked about it like weight reducing, calorie restrictive,
Yeah. All the benefits.
all
Yeah.
the benefits. And now
Yeah.
all of a sudden, something that costed them like pennies to make, they're selling
Mm.
it for hundreds of dollars. Why? Because they brought the benefit out right in front of in front of the shopper, and now that increased value, right? It resonates with them. So,
Mm.
do you watch any YouTubers about like making money or anything? You know Alex
Um.
Hormozy?
Say that again.
Do you know a guy named Alex Hormozy?
No. No. That one. He's quite well known on YouTube. Begins with Z. Like Zert. That's his name. He's
Hmm.
quite well known. He did like a few drop shipping challenges back in the day, and
Dropship King? That
no, Dropship King. Is he? There's a British one,
yeah, yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
he did an A to Z course, and it was
Yeah,
like
yeah,
5 hours long, and
yeah,
that was very valuable.
yeah, yeah,
Really.
yeah, yeah. No, but
Yeah.
so Alex Hormozy, like if you have some, that's the guy I watch.
Hmm.
Because his content to me is very valuable. He talks about he mentions this concept that I'm gonna tell you right now. Because he
Hmm.
made his money from a company called Gym Launch, and what he did was he filled up gyms in 30 days for other gyms. Right, that was his whole business. And he also talked about supplements inside of his videos. So he said that when people are shopping for supplements, right? They're not looking at the reason that they're actually buying that supplement is because it's solving an extreme pain for them. Like you're gonna lose
Mm.
all of that weight, right, by just taking a pill, right?
Yeah.
And consumerism is so rampant now that people are willing to pay extraordinary amounts, right, for benefits that would be applied to them. For example, so
Hmm.
like a gym membership is 10, maybe $20 or 20 quids in your point. I don't know.
It's only quick.
20 quids, yeah. Like,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
to get the outcome of becoming fit, strong, whatever, would take you like a year at the gym. But but if you want to lose all the weight and then you can go through plastic surgery or get some kind of surgery done to remove
Quick
liposuction,
fix.
exact
Yeah.
quick fix. Now you can charge 25,000, 100,000 for just that surgery, and people will pay it. Why? Because
Mm,
they are getting the benefit without putting in the work.
mm.
So that is the mindset that you need when you're, like marketing these products, right? The items that you list on eBay, they have to be so hyper benefit orientated, right? That like they are not gonna have a reason to say no. You get what I'm saying?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So an example would be recently I sold something like these fire starters, right? And one of the benefits that we like, it said that it had like a certain amount of powder or whatever, and we called it 20,000 strike. So
Hmm.
now we're talking about the benefit. Instead of
Yeah.
calling like the actual feature of it, we just bring the benefit. Now somebody's thinking like, oh, you know what? You can hit it 20,000 times and it'll work 20,000 times. Maybe it won't, but but that's what
Who
the
knows?
bot said.
No one's gonna count. No one's gonna
No one's
count.
gonna count. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Like, oh, obviously, don't be deceptive, but like, I'm just trying to bring out the concept that you need to understand when
Yeah.
you are marketing these items. Yeah. So now that so the notes, the key takeaways here, items that don't have intrinsic value, right? You need to have something
Hmm.
that that you can set whatever price you want, and then you need
Hmm.
to make sure that the titles have a benefit, right? That like that is appealing to somebody, right?
Yeah.
And then that benefit is now what they're willing to pay for, whatever however else is beneficial to them. So that solves the first problem. And then there's one other problem that you're gonna have to kind of take into consideration. How do you think about these items, right? Think about what pain does people have in this world, right? It's the
Hmm.
same across all countries. Not really all countries, but in the West,
Yeah.
weight loss is one of them.
Oh yeah.
So
Yeah.
supplements is a great niche. You can go ahead and find like maybe like you'll maybe you're gonna go on Amazon and you'll find iron pills, right?
Yeah.
Find out what iron does, right? Put the benefits in the title, right? And now you have a strong product that specifically targets a specific audience that they're willing to pay for whatever. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's the first thing. Like you have to like think about the niches that you want to target, right? The money is always in the niches.
Hmm.
And then from there, like maybe make a list, maybe make like 10, 20. Think about all of the pain points that you know. Some people said foot pain, some people say health and beauty. Those are great ones because those ones don't
Yeah.
have like clear pr- in intrinsic prices.
Yeah.
Now the second thing that you want to do is after you pick your products, make major titles, you want to list them onto eBay. Now what you want to do is you need your items to get visible, right? To get it visible, right? You have to understand what keywords somebody is searching for, right? And this conversation is gonna get very long, so I'm gonna distill it down to the main things, and then I'll probably make a video or something later on about this topic in detail.
Yeah.
So the main things that you want to do is on your listing, your title should have keywords, your description should have keywords, and your item specifics should have keywords, right? There's When you do that, when you fill your listing up with a whole bunch of keywords, what ends up happening is you're getting a whole bunch of traffic to that listing. Do you get what I mean? And if you don't get traffic, just wipe everything and try it again, right? And then try different keywords, see whatever's sticking, and whatever sticks, you run with it, and whatever doesn't, you delete it, and then you move on. Right, every month you have another 1,500 that you can keep cycling
Yeah.
over. So that is the main benefit over eBay across Shopify. It's the fact that you can test items for free, essentially.
Mm.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You're not gonna break the bank by testing a whole bunch of stuff.
Nah. And you
But
can keep
also,
the listings and just add to it.
exactly.
Yeah.
But some of the disadvantages with eBay is even if now that you created your listing, now you're prone to getting someone else copying you, right? And then even if you bring in the traffic to your item, right? eBay is going to show other items in the bottom that might be similar. So your shoppers that you worked hard, they might be buying from somebody else. But
Yeah.
that is the cost that you pay to be able to list for free. So I wouldn't say eBay is like better than other platforms. It's just a different approach, right?
Mm.
You get to go ahead and if if somebody that's starting off and they don't have a lot of money and they eBay is probably the best that I have seen so far because
Yeah.
you list it, you don't have to worry about SEO, you don't have to worry about anything. It's just you get impressions, you get a chance to sell it right off the bat. You know what I
Mm.
mean? Somebody can
Yeah.
just build from, and that's what happened to me actually. I gotta have a lot of money at the time, so I just started with eBay.
You started with eBay, did you?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was like I tried other things and before that, but it just worked. So what I just ended up doing with eBay is I just scale my operation as far as I can. It is more work.
Mm.
It's more work to go ahead and scale a massive operation, but it's way more reliable and
Yeah.
no cost. It's just the cost isn't the labor. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You hire
Yeah.
VAs, you do whatever.
And how do you deal with hiring? How have you dealt with hiring VAs and stuff like that? Is it people you're close with, or is it just through like Upwork or anything like that? On
Good question. Good question. So originally, actually, I made a podcast about this one time.
yeah, you
I'll
should.
send that to you after. But
Yeah.
regarding hiring a VA, my original VA, I found them on Craigslist in the
Okay.
Philippines,
Oh, really?
7 years ago.
Wow.
So here's the key things that you need to know when you're hiring a VA, right? A VA is like it's like your business partner,
Mm.
right? They will make you, they will break you. So if it's not just about hiring cheap labor, right? The guys who I hired at 7 years ago, I got lucky. They were great guys, and they're with me today. You know,
Yeah.
we're still working on the same plan. We're building and we're taking it to the moon. And we they call me sir. I call them sir. They call me bro. Like that's how the relationship is, and it's always
Yeah.
gonna be like that.
Mutual respect for each other.
More like brotherhood. Like
Yeah.
we're small businesses. We don't have the luxury of treating people like machines or anything like that. These people are gonna be like you're gonna be heavily relying on them. They say that everyone is replaceable, but in a small business, that's not really true because right, if you replace somebody, you're setting yourself as back maybe 6 months
Yeah.
because you have to train somebody.
You've got to rebuild the structure for them, haven't you?
Exactly.
Teach them the structure. Yeah.
It is such a bad thing to go ahead and have a bad teammate, right? A lot of people micromanage and then the like that in a way that even they wouldn't like working for themselves.
Yeah.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like my mentality towards a VA, right, is always when you're joining me, you're coming in as a partner, right? We're gonna liberate each other, right?
Yeah.
Where it's not just the company that's becoming free. As we grow and become successful, we're gonna liberate you as well. You're coming in and joining a liberation army. Something like that's the mindset that we have. And
Yeah.
never can it ever be anything else. Otherwise, I've had a different approach at one time, and what ended up happening is somebody came and suspended my account because they didn't care. But when they understand that this is their ticket to freedom, all of a sudden it becomes it's different. Do
Mm.
you get what I mean?
Yeah. And like, do they work from the Philippines then? It's all, yeah. So
Yeah.
do you set them KPIs to follow?
No.
What's your way of like tracking, or, he's doing well or he's doing not so good? How can you depict that?
So so everybody usually, so this is what I look for when I hire somebody, right? The first thing is I look for no experience,
Mm,
right? I like somebody with experience is not moldable, right?
yeah.
So I don't look for, if
Can't
someone
teach an
says
old dog new tricks. That's what it's
exactly.
saying.
If someone tells me like, oh, they're a VA, they've been doing it for 10 years, I'm like, okay, next. Like, you know, like
Need
it's
some fresh-minded people.
I,
Yeah.
the thing is when someone who already had a job before, right? Like this is the problem with Upwork, right? They are thinking in dollars. They're not thinking
Mm,
in pesos, in their currency. When someone is a freelancer already, you become a number to them as well.
yeah.
So the mentality has to go both ways. It's not just you looking out for them, they have to be looking out to you. So how do you build that loyalty, that trust with somebody? They have to come from a background and origins that does not have the freelancing mindset. So
Mm,
a good way is like, let's say you made a friend who's Filipino or from a different ethnic. It doesn't have to be in the Philippines, right? You probably have friends that have different backgrounds or ethnic origins, right? Ask them, hey, do you have any family members back home or something that that would like to work with me, right? And then
mm,
you go ahead and find somebody, and then from there you build that relationship. That person is gonna come in fresh. They're not gonna be having the freelancing mindset to replace you, right? They're gonna go ahead, be very fresh to be moldable, and because we have something called our currency is so powerful, right? Our 1 hour of time can afford 10 of theirs, right?
mm.
You're able to sustain them. Do you get what I mean? They
Yeah.
become you become such an asset in their life. You know
Mm,
what I mean? And that is with so that's I don't track like anything with my team. Like we have duties that need to be performed, right? And as long as those duties are fulfilled, we're good.
yeah.
And if ever we need some other things, like we talk about it, and then I let them like join in. Like we have general time frames, but if
Hmm.
you're if you can't make it, right, you come in whenever and just finish the work. And only someone who cares is gonna have that mindset. Like imagine, like I've had times where my VAs were sick or something, and they would still like clock in just at the like for an hour at night just to finish the orders because they cared. They cared
Mm.
about us. We are taking care of them. Like when they got married, we went ahead and bought them gifts and everything.
Oh yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? It's a different.
Mm,
That is the relationship you need with somebody. Imagine you
yeah.
had 100 of those, right? That's just power at that point.
That is a lot of power.
That's a lot of
Definitely.
power. People who
Yeah.
care about you and your business, right? And the only way they'll care is if you care about them, right? So they must be moldable. They must not have, freelancing origins, right? Some things I like to look for nowadays is typically women, right? Women are very good. Maybe
Hmm.
someone like a stay-at-home mom or something, right?
Yeah.
Maybe somebody who is like, or maybe like fresh college grad or something that they couldn't find work because the work that we require does not require like you are the one who's setting up the operation. You're in charge of growing it, but what you need is someone to maintain it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I wouldn't.
Yeah.
You can definitely rely on them for growing it and etc. But however, I feel like that's a failed approach because now you take the control away from what you're supposed to be doing. You're the business owner. You're responsible for growing it and constantly learning, but you're not supposed to create a job for yourself.
No.
You get what I mean? That is the
Yeah.
approach that like what I do on a daily basis. I don't actually do any of the work, right? We work on the software, we work on creating accounts, I work on solving problems and networking, right? That is what I
Yeah.
do. I don't do anything else outside of that. Do you get what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah. Yeah.
and it is a more stressful position to be in, but that stress is the reason why there's an opportunity, right? You're dealing with problems most people wouldn't want to deal with. Heck, man, I don't want to deal with them. I'm telling you, but it's better than like it gives us a dream, and I think the
It
dream,
does, yeah.
it's hard to kind of give up, man.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Hard work pays off, definitely.
um, I don't know if
Depends where you apply the hard work, though.
I think it definitely does pay off, but we'd have to kind of measure in how we are measuring how it pays off. If it's purely fiscal or financial, not necessarily. But
Mm,
anybody who works hard has my respect and many other people's respect. So that is another way it pays off. Your status grows, and imagine you see somebody waking up every day, 5 a.m., going to the bus, right? And then they're driving it for like 12, 24 hours or like 20 hours. You'll look at that guy like that guy's a man.
yeah.
That guy's reliable. He's like, take my sister. Something. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that is the so hard work definitely does pay off. It just
Hmm.
depends how you're like. If it's purely monetary, then I don't think so. Like I think monetary has a lot more to do with your zip code. Like the opportunities that are presented to you because like for us being in the West, where we have opportunities that there are people like thousands of times smarter than us that they just don't have the access to the banking, right, that we do. And
Yeah.
that is a key critical inflection point that determines somebody's success in a monetary way, at least. I'm not saying those
Mm,
guys can't make it out, but it's extremely difficult. So
it's
that's
hard
why
to.
guys like you, right, need to be the ones who are making all that wealth so you can redistribute it in a way that's fair and appropriate for mankind. You know what I mean?
Mm, yeah.
So, it's a very big responsibility. If you started this path, you should finish it and you should have noble intentions, right? Virtuous ones as well.
Mm,
So regarding the hiring of VA, like I hope the mindset is clear on how to work with somebody, right? You don't look at it from a like this is just my perspective though, right? There could be other ways. This is what worked for us, right? So you need to make sure that you're building a team, right? And I do think this is the right approach, right? To make sure that you're building a team that it takes care of each other mutually. And then
mm,
the way you find them, right? You can go like if you go to anything like Upwork or onlinejobs.ph. So I started with onlinejobs.ph, but they at
hmm.
that time when I started, they had like $100 membership fee, and I was thinking like $100. Where am I gonna get $100? And that's where I went ahead and tried Craigslist because I was like, let me just post a job offer, and I got some messages, and that's where
Oh,
it started
really?
off. Yeah. And then now I only hire within. That means that
Okay.
the VAs that I hire, okay, who like they're referrals from my current team, right? I don't, if anybody comes outside of that, like it's not gonna work out because
That's a good idea. Yeah. That's a
yeah,
very good idea.
yeah, the referrals are so important because it's not about their skill, it's about accountability, right?
Yeah.
If they mess up, so many times I go to the guy who referred them, like, yo, look, your friend did this, what's going on? And then he's like, let me talk to him.
Yeah. There's that sort of,
Yeah,
yeah, it kind of fixes itself in a way, doesn't it?
exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
If it's just random people, then it's like you're the one who has to talk to them. I don't have that
Yeah.
relationship built off, so I'm leveraging their relation. That is the reason I
Yeah.
hire within. And then
Mm,
I guess this is also true for the corporate world as well. If you're getting a job, so much easier when a company hires from a referral because now that person is accountable to their friend that who referred them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
So, but if you're starting off, right? Um, one thing, a good way to go about it would be, like maybe you find guys like me or who already have a team, and then you ask
Hmm.
for a referral from our team. So that way we give from our network, and they're accountable to you. So it's a much stronger relationship that you'll get from cold approaching somebody. So that way you have the leverage, right? Hey, and like you know what I mean. That is
Yeah.
very important to get something like that. Another approach would be you could get it from like how I started with Craigslist Philippine. I wouldn't go down like now that I already have something going. Like
Yeah.
I don't go down that path anymore. But I
No.
did recently when I was looking for a completely different skill set. I was looking to hire developers, and we didn't really have anyone in our network that we could hire. So I had to go ahead the cold approach. And what I did was I looked through, like I went on VAs, or in sorry, not VAs. I went on programming jobs in different countries on Facebook groups, and I posted my ad. I got like thousands like resumes, and then I started calling people one after the other, right? And I looked for somebody, right, that had specific things that would fit our culture, right? Somebody,
Yeah.
if someone is too, like prune, like it doesn't work for me. Like I need somebody who's more like somebody who's more, how do I say,
Open-minded.
more like a brother.
Yeah.
You need to get on a conversation with them, and like you need to be like able to be friends. Like if we weren't working together, we're still friends.
Yeah. You want them to be able to open up to you in
Exactly.
a way. Be a bit
Exactly.
emotionally available.
Exactly. Like I wasn't
Yeah.
looking for the talent. It'll come, right?
Yeah.
Like
You can
everyone
teach that,
grows.
can't you? Yeah.
Well, he's gonna learn by himself, and he's learning every day. But it's more about like are we friends? Do we have the same values? Are we on the same mission together? Right? That is what I'm looking for, right? Is we start off the conversation by like, how's your family? What do they do? Oh, like, and then we talk about problems that we're facing in life. It's because I already seen the resume. Already seen everything, right? The only, so I don't, I'm not, I'm on that call to see if we can be friends.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's the approach I go for, and it worked out great. The guy joined us, and like that guy's like my brother now too. Like I talked to him like if he wasn't working for us, like I would still be his friend if I met him randomly. He's like similar to the friends I have right now. You know what I mean? So I would say
Yeah.
look for something like that.
Yeah.
So so your approach to being successful on eBay now would be you have to make sure that you understand your systems, right? How to make
Hmm.
money yourself, and then you can leverage that knowledge by getting a teammate to scale that operation for you. So the first
Yeah.
point of action that you need to take is start listing items, start being successful, look at the impressions, right? You have to like success comes after mastery, right? There is like actually no like shortcuts here, right?
Nah, just got to keep working at it.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Like just like Shopify, like you've done four trial runs, but like if every time you quit, right, you're gonna go ahead and kind of start over from something new. Some of the skills are transferable, but nobody who has made it is not an expert in that field. Even guys
Mm.
who are like bodybuilders, I went to the gym, I spoke to some guys, and they were like tracking their macros. They're like PhDs, and every single one of them are like PhDs in fitness and training.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like every time you see something astonishing or something remarkable, it's always because of expertise and mastery. So
Yeah.
learn as much as you can. Stay in a group and a network of people who are knowledgeable as well, right? That is kind of one of the main goals that I'm trying to accomplish here because I'm at a stage at this point where it's kind of difficult to find like people watching on YouTube that knows the same information, yeah? So
Mm.
what I am trying to do is, and it's working out pretty successfully. We have like another like private group where I try to funnel in as many experts as I can, right? So that way we have collective wisdom and brain power
Mm.
to solve cutting edge or bleeding edge problems in eBay, right? That is like my kind of because I've been solving problems for so many years alone, and I'm tired of that stuff. Like something that I don't know, maybe you could tell me the answer within a couple minutes, right? Instead
Yeah.
of me
And it's
spending
based
6 months.
based on different experiences.
Exactly.
Everyone's gone down different roads, but
Exactly. Exactly. Just
yeah.
as even the Discord that we have is our public one, but even
Yeah.
that Discord, so much knowledge flows from it. So
Yeah.
many people
I,
with so
I've
many experiences.
Yeah, I've just been scrolling through all the chat history, and I just like reading it, just seeing what people are experiencing, if
Yeah,
I can relate to it myself.
yeah.
You know, it's very, I find it quite interesting.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like the real value of that Discord is gonna come like maybe a year down the line when the members are nurtured to the point and they're more successful. And what's gonna end up happening is we're gonna have a community of experts. Maybe they're doing different things, but all of the skills are transferable. And it's really about embedding yourself in a community, right? The
Mm.
more relationships you build, right, the more people are solving different problems that you have access to those solutions, right? So very
Yeah,
important, like one fast track to success is network. Talk to as many guys, but not just like from a couple messages. Get on calls with them, right?
yeah,
That
yeah.
is something that so many people don't do, and
They're
that was what I'm
afraid.
guilty of.
They're afraid to for
Yeah,
that
I'm
initial
telling you.
talk. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it is so wrong, dude. I've done it like I've learned more within a year than I did with 6 years by myself.
Mm.
That's how ridiculous the power of networking is. Like the knowledge
Yeah.
that I accumulated in 1 year, right? It became overlapped, eclipsed within that 1 year as opposed to the 6 years by myself. You know
Mm.
what I mean? It's just because of talking to somebody, and I talk so many times I get on a call and I talk to somebody and they tell me that, oh, you could do this. I'm like, what? I'm like, I've been doing
Every
this
day's a
forever.
school day.
Man, I'm telling you, there's the more you network, the more you realize, the less you know, and very
Yeah.
important, right? And so what I'm trying to do is accomplish, get as many people in the same discipline, throw them into the same group, right? And then we can have like really deep discussions because this platform, we're on a platform that has so much money to be made for so many people. And
Mhm.
the reality is out of like maybe 1,000 people who are like conversing only there's gonna be like maybe 100 go hard hitters. Not
Yeah.
everybody's gonna be serious in the end of the day, right? So within those 100, those guys are gonna benefit from it, and they're gonna go ahead and take over, right? So that is like the real agenda behind it, just to go ahead and get as much knowledge flowing, passing around, right? And then so we can get solutions to cutting edge issues, right, in real time, right? YouTube videos and stuff, you gotta wait for somebody to make them. Maybe they're gonna make it a year
Yeah.
later, but
Could
with
be outdated by then, that method. Just
could be
yeah.
outdated. Maybe or people don't talk about the answers, man. When you have a group of many people, right? People are experimenting every day, right? You could probably teach so much things to so many people at this point because of your experiences that you have built up, yeah. And you're gonna get even more. You're gonna get even more experiences that I probably might not get, right? And then from there, you're gonna share with me because we had this conversation. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So this is
Yeah.
like my investment in people, and I invite everyone to do the same, right? Because
Mhm.
this was one of the greatest lessons that I learned. Network. Your
Yeah.
network becomes your net worth.
Yeah. See, I've been in all sorts of Discord groups and things like that, but I never messaged and got any information from anyone, which is different now. And I'm starting to make some changes in my attitude towards success, I suppose.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so now I'm not afraid to ask questions. It's good just to
yeah,
get
absolutely,
pick people's brains and get their knowledge.
absolutely. The number one thing that people like that needs to be like this goes hand in hand with networking. The more you give, the more you get back.
Mm,
This is
yeah,
this is the law. Like if you
yeah,
wanna like this would be my advice to you, right? You should share and document your journey. Maybe start a YouTube channel. Maybe say
maybe,
day one, day two,
maybe,
whatever, right?
yeah,
And then whenever someone has a problem, if you can answer them, give them their solution because now they like imagine you spent a year giving one guy advice, right? And all of a
mm,
sudden he hit a home run. Hey bro. And then you message them like, hey bro, can you teach me what you did? And then he's gonna hop on a call and walk you through it one by one. Right?
yeah,
These are all investments as well. Time is an investment, right? So make no mistake, the more you give, the more you get back because let's say you're someone who's always asking questions, but he never gives back, right?
Mm.
Now it's like people are not going to prioritize him, right? So there is like different statuses within communities as well. So it is dependent on the individual to create that status. You get what I
Yeah,
mean? Talk to as many
yeah,
people, right? Give as much value as you can in the world, and the value will come back, right? That is how you make money to begin with, right? It is a byproduct, a reward for the value that you have given to the world, right? And in
yeah,
drop shipping, you definitely can give value. And one of the ways, again, is by getting the benefits of the product that is not being showcased and attaching it to the product and then bring it in front of the people who need it, right?
mm.
That is how you bring value as a drop shipper.
Quick question on that.
Sure.
Um, I've looked through the chat history and I seem to remember you talking about AI, utilizing AI to build up titles and descriptions.
Yeah.
Yeah, do you use what AI do you use, ChatGPT, or
ChatGPT.
is it your yeah,
ChatGPT.
no.
We just use the programmatic interface to do it at scale. You know what I mean?
Right, okay. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
so you can give them a mass amount of listings and it'll
Right.
output. Yeah. Okay.
Exactly. We just do it at scale. But the web interface works just as good, right?
Mm.
But the important thing to understand when you're going about it is ChatGPT is just a tool, right?
Yeah.
You have to understand what you want from it, right? And be able to evaluate it to get an output that you're happy with. If you just tell ChatGPT, make an eBay title from this, it's going to give you something. It could be absolute crap. But
Mm.
if you understand it's crap, you can be like, hey, hold on a second. I need the benefit inside of that. That benefit is not that great.
Yeah, don't overlook it and nitpick things and make sure it's right.
Right, exactly.
Don't use it as like for everything, as in yeah,
Well,
I get what you mean.
use it, but understand it's like a machine and you're the guide. So you
Yeah,
must be able to guide it to where you
yeah,
want it to be, right? So
yeah,
it's not as simple as just like, oh, it's a magical tool. It's a great tool,
yeah.
but it's still dependent on the expertise of the individual. So when you have time, look into how to copyright. Like I took a
Yeah.
6 month copywriting course because I needed a way to evaluate titles. Like whatever I'm
Mm.
saying is not because I'm just like randomly saying it, right? It's because I took a course on it.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah.
mean? I was studying copywriting because I was thinking that okay, ChatGPT is here, or like I learned about ChatGPT a long time ago before it was even public. Like we were using
Mm.
it at that time and like we were developing on that. But I needed a way to go ahead and evaluate the output because it's giving me a title and I'm thinking, is it a good one or not? How am I
Yeah,
supposed to tell? So
yeah,
I started taking a course on copywriting so I can evaluate the output. Do you get
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So it is you'll have you'll have to understand the concepts behind like why titles work. And this is gonna be a journey, right? It could be a fast one, right?
mhm,
Depending how much time and effort you put in to learning. It is
yeah,
purely learning. Like it's a knowledge-based game. Everything can be outsourced, everything can be automated, but it is you that is the operator. You know what I mean?
mm, yeah,
Good.
yeah.
Good. So I hope you understood like the main concepts that you needed to be successful on eBay. Huh? Can you repeat them back
Yes,
to me?
you gave me some very, very useful information. I wrote some bits down,
Good.
like no, not sat, well, no saturated products. Um, don't make it. I think you said don't make it too specific. Um, well, make sure it doesn't have like I think it is it an intrinsic value you said?
Intrinsic value.
Yeah. So make sure you can bring up the perceived value of that product.
Yeah, good.
Sell it to them.
Good.
Um, yeah, and by doing that, you would add benefits to the products.
Good.
Uh,
Good.
yeah, give it a
So
bit of a maybe like a bit of a wow factor in a way. So, oh, it does this, it does that.
yeah. That's the Shopify in you talking.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
wow factor.
yeah, the wow factor.
Nobody says that word in the eBay dropship experience. No, it's the wow
Yeah,
factor.
I mean,
The
It's been a
Shopify
few
guys.
years. It has been a few years, but yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, yeah,
Good. So I just want to just correct one thing that needs to be brought, like understand this. It is A/B testing. You are
yeah,
testing at scale. So that means think about a product, list it, right? Don't overthink it and move on, right? Don't spend like an hour looking for a product. You had an inspiration, right? List it, test it. If it works, great. If not, whatever. Move on to the next
yeah,
item, and then next month you can retest everything. And then as
yeah,
you keep going, you can make it more efficient as you're going down this process. Yeah, that's what we
yeah,
try to do. We try to just make it more efficient every day as we can. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. So that's it for me, man.
Yeah, thank you for your time, Sammy. It is
Thank you
much
for joining.
appreciated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll keep in
you've been
touch. We'll do a follow
extremely
up.
valuable. Yeah, we will. We will keep in touch. Yeah,
Thank you, brother. Alrighty, man.
thank
I'll
you.
see you.
Yeah.